Upfront and Outspoken with Bob Williams. If you love the Constitution,
man is not free unless government is limited.
If you love freedom,
as government expands, liberty contracts.
If you believe in personal responsibility, if you believe America is still the greatest nation on earth, then get ready for an experience you'll never forget. This is Upfront and Outspoken. Here's your host, Bob Williams.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag, rule their red, white, and blue.
There's a reason education sucks, and it's the same reason that it will never, ever, ever be fixed. It's never going to get any better. Don't look for it. Be happy with what you got. Because the owners of this country don't want that. I'm talking about the real owners now. The big, the wealthy, the real owners, the big wealthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. They're irrelevant. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't.
All right, welcome back. This is Upfront Outspoken, and like George Carlin said, you know, what can you say? Nobody cares about you. And I'm going to specifically target Savannah. Yes, that's right. I'm specifically going to target Savannah in today's rant. And the reason for that is I am so fed up with hearing from people in Savannah over and over and over again, Bob, how come you are the only person, the only radio network that is willing to tell people around the world what is going on in Savannah? The corruption that goes on, the bad politicians. Why are you and the Starcom radio network the only ones who are willing to take this on? Why hasn't our media taken it on? That's a good question. A very good question. Why hasn't Savannah media taken it on? I mean, my God, you've got WSAV, you've got TOC, you've got other outlets over there, and yet none of them are willing to broadcast to their citizenry what we have done here at Starcom. Does that make us unique from them? No, we're media. Our obligation is to you, the listener. That is who we are obligated to. But yet it seems that the media in Savannah refuses to realize they are responsible for their citizens. They are the ones that should be bringing the story that we have been doing to the people of Savannah for their own court of public opinion. And yet, it would appear that Savannah media refuses to do so. Yet we've taken it on, we've taken up the banner, and we have been fighting the good fight, so to speak. That's exactly what I call it, fighting the good fight. Dirty politicians. I don't care if it's your mayor. I don't care if it's an alderman. I don't care if it's a city attorney. I don't care if it's your goddamn dog catcher. If you are corrupt, you need to be exposed for who you really are. And then let the court of public opinion decide. You know, we have had on this show guests who have said right out how corrupt it is in Savannah. And yet your media, your journalists refuse to tackle the story. Is it the journalists? I don't know. But I can tell you somewhere up the food chain, somebody said, no, we're not airing this. We're not going to air this. We do not want to upset the apple cart. I got news for you folks. If there's a story out there, if there's a viable story out there, we're going to go after it here. I don't care if it's in Savannah. I don't care if it's in Chicago, New York, Miami, you know, right here in Callington, or the little town that you go through in a blink of an eye. If there's corruption or there's news to be had, you can bet that it is the responsibility of true journalists to cover that story. And we here at the Starcom Radio Network take pride in what we do. We give you what mainstream, and I like to refer to that. I'm talking about Viacom, I'm talking Clear Channel, I'm talking MSNBC, Fox, CBS, ABC, you name it. I take pride in what we do because we get to the heart of the story. We lay it out for you in black and white. And as you notice, we don't do it on speculation. We don't do it on hearsay. We back up with what we say with fact. And if you don't believe it, listen to some of the past interviews that I've done, or listen to our programs, and you will find that we do not base our opinions or our stories on speculation. We base it on fact, and we make sure we have those facts available to you. But yet it would seem that even though we have the facts and we have presented them, we have literally presented them to such organizations as Fox, to WSAV, to WTOC, to other outlets in the Savannah area. You know what happens? We get this comment. It's a good story, but we don't want to air it. Why? I want to know why. Why won't the media in Savannah take on the hard, cold reality that, number one, you have a mayor who violated the ethics of Savannah. She blatantly violated it, but yet the committee that was hastily assembled, hastily impaneled, because the first ethics committee had to recuse themselves because of conflicts of interest. They refused to hear the evidence. You heard it. You heard it right here. You heard that evidence. You heard part of it. And the rest is being made available to you. So I want to know why your media in Savannah, why is it your media in Savannah refuses to take on these issues? Who are you so afraid of offending? Is it your advertisers? Is it because you are so dead set on trying to hoodwink your citizens into believing Savannah's the best place on earth and there's no other place better? Savannah, I don't buy it. The citizens of Savannah need to stand up and say enough is enough. You need to hear what is going on, but you need to hear it from your local media sources. You don't need to be hearing it from guys like me who are hundreds of miles away. You don't need to be hearing it from us. You need to be hearing it from SAV, TOC, your news outlets, be it print, be it radio, be it television. You need to hear this from them. But you're not. And I'm wondering why. So yeah, I believe corporate America, the big money, is once again getting involved and saying, hey, if you air this story, we're going to pull X advertising dollars away from you. What's the old saying, folks? Money talks and BS walks. Isn't that what they say? Well, guess what? It seems money over there indeed does talk. Because so long as the money is flowing, no one is willing to do anything. Now, I'm not saying all the journalists over there are bad. I'm not saying that. There's probably a few that really want to get on the stories that we've been doing right here, but for some reason, somebody up that food chain stopped it. They said, no, we can't air this. We can't allow this to air. Why? Because they're going to be offended. They don't want to hurt people's feelings. And that's what I'm beginning to believe is going on in Savannah in particular. And I'm not going to back off of you guys over there. I'm sorry. As a journalist, as a media outlet, it is your responsibility. It is your responsibility, your obligation to keep your listeners, your viewers, your readers informed, good, bad, or indifferent. You need to let these people know it. Let the court of public opinion take hold. Is that what you're afraid of? You're afraid that if this were to be the case, then your people, your readers, your listeners, your viewers are going to suddenly stand up and say, hey, enough is enough? Is that what you're afraid of? Or are you just want to do like everybody else and brush it under the rug? I honestly find that hard to believe. But the more and more I watch the events unfold in Savannah, the more it proves to me that I am so proud to be away from Clear Channel, to be away from the likes of Viacom and Disney and CNN and all of that. Because more often than not, the stories that I go after probably would have been shot down. You people need to hear the truth. You really do. You need to have the facts presented to you. And I have, over and over again, I have presented those facts. Yet, it would appear, and this is my judgment, in my judgment, the media in Savannah is failing you. That's right, failing you. They are not doing their job. They are not willing to take on the stories that we have. Why? Ask them. Call them up. Light up their phones. Ask them, why is a radio network based out of Oklahoma willing to take up the banner of fighting the good fight when you guys don't want to do it? I've heard that, WSAV did indeed air a little couple segments here and there, but all of a sudden, nothing more comes out of them. Who stopped them from ever pursuing this stuff again? Who stopped your media from getting to the heart of the corruption that is going on? Who's behind that? There's an old adage too, follow the money. I bet you if you follow what is going on, there's going to be a money trail. I'll lay odds. I mean, it's not too high of a, jump or a leap of faith to figure it out. Because every radio station, every newspaper, every TV station has to run on a revenue. In most cases, unlike us, unlike this network, in most cases, that would mean corporate advertising dollars. That's right, corporate advertising dollars. So if in fact you insult somebody, then you may also insult a advertiser. And that advertiser say, I'm pulling my ad away from you because this one is more accommodating to this individual. So they lose advertising dollars. That's the nature of business. But that shouldn't be what dictates what goes on in the newsroom. But yet it seems that the executives of these mainstream outlets, television, radio, newspaper, it seems that their executives are more concerned with the bottom line than getting the message out to their listeners, their viewers, or their readers. This is what is going on in Savannah, in my belief. Now, I'm not going to say I can back that up. I'm using that as an assumption, but I'm willing to bet somebody up the food chain said we're not going to air this. And my question to them is why? Why are you so willing to deny our readers, our listeners, our viewers this? They need to hear this. But some executive is saying, no, they don't. I want to know who. I want to know why. And I'll be honest with you. It's probably going to be somebody that's pulling the purse strings. And, Savannah, we're not afraid to take you on. We've invited your mayor to come on my show. We've invited Alderman Tony Thomas to come on my show. Neither one will. Neither one will. Why? I don't know. You ask them. You ask them why they won't come on my show and address the allegations. The one thing I can tell you was that Edna Jackson's office said that they expected me to supply them a list of questions for her review and preparation. Is that journalism? No, it's not. You come on my show. I don't care if you're a politician. I don't care if you're an entertainer. I don't care who you are. You come on my show. I don't have a list of questions. I go by what you ask me or how you answer my questions. And if I hear the hesitation in your voice or I doubt something you say, yeah, I'm going to come back after you. But I will not submit a list of questions. It's not going to happen. At least not in this show. But on some other ones, you can hear how prepared their guests are. So, Savannah, I'm taking it back to you. I'm going to throw this back into your ballpark. I'm not done with you. No, I'm far from done with you because we're working on several other things, which I cannot get into at the time right now, but which will be coming out very shortly. But I'm going to be wondering why you people in Savannah, why it is you're allowing your media to get away with not telling you the truth. Light up their switchboards. I don't care if it's the newspaper, the radio stations, the TV stations. Light up their board. Ask them, why aren't you airing what is going on like the Starcom radio network is? Why aren't you doing that? Why aren't you telling us the truth? What are you so afraid of? Tell them. You want to hear what is going on. You want what we've been going out. The information we've presented to you is overwhelming as to the corruption that is within your government. And yet you people are sitting on your laurels. Your media is sitting on their tail ends and doing nothing. Nothing. Get that through your thick skulls, folks. They are not doing a thing. Why? Because they want to appease you. Yes, they want to make things, oh, it's so great to live in Savannah. it's so beautiful. Yes, Savannah's a beautiful city. I'm not going to say it's not. But my God, you've got corruption so rampant, it's unbelievable. And yet your media is covering up the cover-ups. Is this what you want? Is this what you want? That's the question. And with that, it is time for me to get out of here. Stay tuned, because coming up right after NPR News, Ed Till will be with you till 4 o'clock. Until tomorrow, 6 a.m., this is Bob Williams. Take care of yourselves.